Hi there, welcome to Deadman Channel, with me Terry, and this is part 2 of my Mars Attacks video that I dedicated to Peter from Triple G Comics. Just before we get to the completion of that set, I'd like to show you a few of the mini-series and the odds and sods that have come out over the years. And the first one is Mars Attacks Image. Came out in '96. It was by Keith Giffen, and the art was Andy Smith and Bill Sienkiewicz, if that's how you pronounce his name. Sorry if it isn't. I'm not 100% sure of all the characters from Image. I know that's Savage Dragon, but I'm not sure who the young lady is. But this was number 1 of 4. And then number 2. Number 3. And number 4. How they managed to destroy all of the Image characters in 4 issues, I'm not sure, but still. It was quite a good read, what I remember of it. Then Mars Attacks in Topps Comics, this was, and that was a Savage Dragon, all on his own, being attacked. Again, another 4-issue miniseries. This was by Dwight John Zimmerman, and the internal art was by Claude Saint-Aubin and Larry Malstead, again, if that's the way you pronounce their names. Number 2. Number 1 came with a trading card. Then we have the Attack of the Giant Size Savage Dragon in number 3. And issue 4. He's certainly got about his Mars Attacks aliens. Then we had a couple of Mars Attacks classics. Never ever got the mini-series of these, but these was a 5-issue reprinted, a 5-part mini-series. Main stories were by Keith Giffen, backup stories were by Len Brown, art was by Keith Giffen, Charles Adlard, Tom Sutton and David Simons. All the covers, including the variances inside the magazine. That's the back of the book. And then number 2, again it was another 5-issue mini-series, and this one was entitled Counter-Strike, again written by Keith Giffen, or sorry, the first issue was written by Keith Giffen. The rest of it, by the looks of it, was by Dwight John Zimmerman. Art again was by Charles Adlard and Ken Stacey. So this is a thicker book. I think this had 7 issues in it. Well, that's those little lot. Then we have, excuse my back, a couple of one-shots. One of them is called Mars Attacks The Holidays. There are 3 stories in it. One by Fred Hembeck, one by Bill Morrison, one by Ian Boothby, and instead of lie there was 4. And the other one was by Dean Haspiel. And then we had a Classics Obliterated. They get everywhere. Mars Attacks number 1. It was a one-shot. 2 stories in it. One was called Moby Dick. Again, 3 stories in it, so I can't read my own writing. Jekyll and Hyde was the 2nd story, and Robinson Crusoe the 3rd. Written by Phil Hester, Bo Smith and Neil Cloyd. that. And then Judge Dredd got in on the action. A little 4-issue mini-series. And they put the covers with the cards on again. So Mars Attacks Judge Dredd. Crushing a Perp. This was written by Al Ewing. Art was by John McCrae and Jay Fotos. This was a subscription cover because I liked it with the trading cards on. And it was by Loston Wallace, this cover. Number 2, A Souvenir. Again, cover was by Loston Wallace and also Stephen Bonner. Number 3, Double Header. All the same information. And number 4, Speed Bumps. Then IDW, 4-issue miniseries, came out in 2014. It was called Firstborn. I got all the subscription covers for this. I think I preferred them to the normal cover. Chapter 1 there. This was by Chris Ryall and Sam Keith, or spelled K-I-E-T-H. I don't know whether he pronounces it Keith or Keith. There you go. Number 2. The covers are by Loston Afterwood. So I'm assuming these are all covers that were done before, and these are homage to them. And number 4. Then a little, another mini-series, 5-issue mini-series this was, with IDW, called Occupation. And that was number 1. This was written by John Layman. Art was by Andy Kuhn and Jason Lewis. I'm not too sure whether I like these covers or not, to be perfectly honest. They're a bit plain in a way. But what do you think? If you let us know down in the comments, that'd be great. And if you could subscribe and put a thumbs up, that would be very nice as well. And there's the last issue, number 5. And then we had another 5-issue miniseries. This is from Dynamite, and this one was based on the titles of the cards by an artist called Hack. And the stories were by Cole Starks, and the art inside was by Chris Schweitzer, Liz Trice-Schweitzer. Violence on television. The blind date. Yes. The interrogation. I really enjoyed this actually. This was very funny, considering they were taking over the planet. Hillbilly Rebellion. There's two little fun ones. Mars Attacks baseball. Everything you need to know is on the cover there. The cover was done by Bisley in '96. And there's the rest of it. And then even Popeye wasn't left out. Twister Sock Punch. Mars Attacks Popeye, number one. Number one, a one shot. Then we have the rest of that collection I spoke about. Mars Attacks number 2. There wasn't 50 odd issues of that. And then the retailer incentive cover. I think that one's by Sam Keith. The first cover was done by John McCrea and Andrew Elder. And quite a famous cover for your Americans. Again by James McCrea and Andrew Elder. Excuse me, it's a bit warm. And we have the incentive cover. And that was by Michael Gados. I think this video is going to be a bit longer than normal. I do apologise, but there are only a few to go. Number 4. And again, same artist. This was the incentive cover. This was by Menton 3. All the internal, the story and art and everything else was by John Layman, John McCrea and Andrew Elder as well. So he wrote it, and John McCrea and Andrew Elder with the art. Then we have number 5. Well, it's nearly the end. It didn't last. It only lasted 10 issues. And the variant cover was done by Ben Templesmith. And then the last few came with a card. The card came with the normal issue, not with the incentive cover, which was a bit weird, but the card was the same as the cover. So number 6. And again, the art was by John McCrea and Elder, and the art of the trading card was by Francesco Francavilla. Don't know whether it was some of the first art he did for comics. And the same thing with number 7. You get the little card. They all come in little sealed plastic bags as well, which I've never opened. So I was obviously able to read the other one. And there's the full cover. And that was by Dan Brereton. Nearly there. Number 8. Same again, John Layman, Andrew Elder. And the card was by Miran Kim. Now the penultimate one. Number 9. And the changed it over this time. They put the card, don't ask me why, they put the card actually inside the card, the book it related to, which is a bit weird. And that art was there by Nick Percival. And last but not least, number 10, the art was by again John McCrane Elder there, and in this one they put the card inside the variant, and the art for that one was by Mr. Sam Sheeran, and that is it. Hope you enjoyed that. Sorry it was a bit long, but see you again soon.